Hey everyone, hope you're having a very good day and you're staying safe through this quarantine period. And yeah, so a few days ago, I got a message from one of my photography friends, and he told me about an online challenge basically for photographers on retouching a raw picture. So there's this Nigerian photographer called Praise That Photographer, very cool name. But yeah, so he basically posted his raw picture from one of his old shoots, and he challenged everyone to retouch it in their own way. And currently, basically, I thought it was a very good, marketing strategy because a lot of photographers jumped on board, and I think in a day's time they had almost clocked 1,000 submission. I don't know what the current tally is, but I think should be more than 1,000 by now. Yeah, which is a very good, very, very, very good marketing strategy if you're a photographer out there. And I also tried and talked to one of my photography friends down here, and we did one for the Ugandan photographers, and we got quite a very good response on that too. So yeah, so I'm going to be going through this particular edit and try and break down how I got my final picture. So I hope you enjoy. So the first thing I did was go through and clean up the skin. The cleanup process basically involved removing pimples and blemishes from our skin. And after I'd finished that, I also went ahead and cleaned some bit of, dust and debris on her hair, I think from the makeup. So I had to make sure it basically pretty much evened out. The next stage that I went through was to even the skin tones, because the skin tone had a lot of, yellow from, I think, basically the kickback light, because they shot it on a yellow background. So basically, means there's going to be a bounce on the light, and her being a very light skinned person, there was a lot of yellow on her skin. So my challenge was to separate her skin tones from the yellow background. Then after evening out the skin tones, I went ahead and also made the lips pop out, because one of the things I saw, a lot of photographers were ignoring her lips when they were basically submitting in the pictures. So I thought she had very colorful lips, and the makeup person did a very good job. So I thought, why not make the lips kind of pop out more? So I went ahead using a clean layer, using a blending mode of overlay and painting, basically painting using the paintbrush with a small opacity, and basically made the lips blend in. And also I played a bit with the opacity layer of the lips color to make it blend in more. A lot of people were leaving the background plain, and since I had basically the entire creative freedom on this picture, I went ahead and changed the background a bit, and I created a bit of a vignette. I don't like flat backgrounds, so I sort of had to create some depth into the background with the lighting. So the vignette sort of creates a feeling of the space between where she's standing and somehow a depth to the picture, because a flat background was looking too plain. Then after the vignette, I also went ahead and created a hue and saturation layer, because the vignette was quite strong, so I wanted the vignette to feel natural. So I added a hue and sort of dialed down the strength of the red, because it had a lot of red hue to the background. So the hue and saturation, basically I dialed down the saturation of the background. So I went again back with the brushes, and I like playing a lot with makeup and enhancing it. So I went over with the brush and played with her eyeliner, and I knew it was purple, so I wanted it to pop out more because it wasn't standing out. So I went with the purple brush and did for her the eyeliner. Also went over the iris and tried painting a bit, because she had a bluish contact lenses on. So I went again with a brush and tried painting it on the actual lenses and tried to make them pop out, because I knew the final picture I wanted the blue of her eyes to really, really, really stand out. So after finishing painting that, I went ahead and started creating the first base of the color grade. So I had an adjustment layer, and with a cube file, and basically a lookup file that I created previously for my own edits, and had the first one with a very small opacity just to blend in both her and the background. Again, I created another lookup to basically to seal and marry the entire picture, and created another using another one of my lookups, and added another one on top of that just to make it pop out a bit more. Then after that, I went in with my curves brush, or well, my curves layer, and basically tried to pop out because the exposure was dying out, so I needed to basically expose her a bit more. So I created a curves layer and did just that. Then I added a selective color layer on top of that, just to bring out the yellows in a way of not killing to basically pop out the yellows of the picture. At the same time, I knew that majority her skin tone had a yellow element, and the background having also a yellow element. I knew using the selective color, there's a way I could make the skin pop out and the background also stand out. So right now, the entire color grade, I'm going for a pop of color. If you look at the lips, look at the eyes, look at the background, look at the skin, I'm trying to make both of those individually pop out. Then I created a black and white layer, and basically using it, setting it to hard light to basically create my contrast on the dark parts. Then I created a color balance and tried to now, basically right now I'm trying to cool down some areas of her face, and especially the highlights of her face, and then also minding the eyes. I'm trying to bring in a bit of blue. Then I created my another curves layer. Now this particular curves, I was just basically playing with an S curve to try and make the entire picture pop together, and basically that's just, I was just now experimenting and playing with techniques to basically make the picture stand out. So I created a new layer on my eyes and teeth whitening actions, basically to make the eyes pop out, because the whites of the eyes had a lot of yellow. And if you follow a lot of my work, one of the things I always focus on the most is the human eye. So for this particular part, I had to use that action to make the whites of our eyes stand out.
No, no, I give up. No, 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 I give up. No, no, can't deny it. No, no, I give up. No, 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 I give up.